Oh, good morning, afternoon. Forgot it's 2 o'clock. When your retired morning is starts whenever. Noon is the middle of yesterday. So usually all these YouTube guys like me come on and they rant and they rave and they cuckoo. Uh, so I've had a series on politics. I've had a series on other stuff. I've had a series on bad memory, except I forgot what it was about. Anyways, so uh, here's a skinny. Hmm. At the moment, I'm kind of ticked off. Sort of. Do I expect to be ticked off? Yes. Do I expect this shit? Yes. And what is the problem, Gordy? Well, I've just been reading that the oil companies are pleading to the federal government, of which, even though I am retired, I still pay fucking taxes. They are pleading to the government for help. Those bastards have wrecked the Western environment. They really have. They lied about a whole bunch of stuff. They want pipelines, but for some strange reason, they can't find any pipelines that don't leak. And you know how hard it is to put a leak in a pipeline if you properly build it? It's hard. So, what have we here? I can remember not so long ago, like last year, when there was a whole bunch of messy people, poor like me. Haven't you had it? You go fill up your freaking car, and the gas goes up, and the freaking bank account goes down, directly inversely proportional to the X minus Y per capita over Z. Yeah, they are pleading poverty. They want help. But I can remember all these years of driving up and north and back and south and down around and driving for a living, that when I was up against it financially, those bastards didn't even think about helping. Now, why they broke? They made billions. All their investors made billions on oil over 50 years. The Albertan government is saying, oh, but Canada, they're not understanding what we want. But Norway, for instance, set up the same sort of trust fund for futures. They have a couple $1 trillion in the bank. And they started 20 years before Alberta did. Yeah, Alberta since 1970 has had a heritage fund, and it can only barely come up with 500 million. No, maybe that's a lot of money. 500 billion, I can. That's a lot of McDoubles. That's a lot of fucking TV dinners. That's a lot of trips up and running, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But, and what has the oil companies ever fucking done for Canada? Really, think about it. What have they ever done? Huh? And now they're pleading to our government for help when their backs up against the wall and, my gosh, their executives are going to have to take a cut in their freaking pay packet. See, that's all it's about. Instead of making $2 million a year, oh, they're pushed down to the basic $500,000 a year. Do we help out the oil companies? Well, Trudeau and Scheer and the Sikh saying, oh, they're going to help the freaking oil companies. Meanwhile, the pandemic isn't over. People are suffering. Sort of, but maybe we are suffering. Maybe this is what clears the chaff. We should use this pandemic to see who in society deserves our help. Do you think the oil companies deserve our help? No, brother. See, this is an opinion, see. This isn't really necessarily based on fact, but factually, the oil companies were ripping us off for years. And now they want help. We asked for help and we asked for freaking price relief a long time ago. Would they give it to us? Oh no, okay, the cost of production. This is the cost of exploration. It costs a lot of money to drill a hole in the ground. Even though we know what's there. I've watched this for like, oh my God, 60, 50, 50, 60,000 years, right? And now the oil companies want help. When, at no time in the freaking history of Canada, can I recall an oil company even giving a break to a fucking farmer so he could plow his fields. You know, oh, okay, we'll we'll help you with your fuel costs. They won't even help 50%. No. Hey, that's what you owe us, and you want to fill your goddamn tank, that's what it's going to cost you. The farmer was requesting help. The federal government often did come and help. And now the Albertan government of Canada thinks that we should help the oil companies work. Now, I happen to like pipelines. I studied transportation. But I came to realize that the Canadian operator of pipelines, is the most incompetent operator of pipelines in the history of mankind. Properly run, a pipeline is like impervious. They don't even watch their pressures. They don't have anybody on staff. Everything's automatic and stuff. They're examining. The oil companies want all the fucking money they can get. And I can't blame them. That's the way the shareholders work. That's the way the stock market works. But then when they come and they ask for freaking help and they've never helped their whole life. I lived in Northern Ontario. I never saw a break from the oil companies. Never. If a part of their profits help build roads in Northern Ontario to all the reserves and all the communities, they could take a quarter of what they made and put it into the roads up north, along with the matching funds from the government. I don't mind that. But would they? No. I come from Northern Ontario. You never see a break from anybody. And now the oil companies want a break. Okay, so let's have a guessing game. And what side do you think I'm going to come down on?
Hmm?